Okay, we got a 1,500 point battle report for you today. Another league game. I have a Necron army with a Ghost Ark, some Warriors, Cryptek in there, 2 Heavy Destroyers, Catan, Lord of Fire, Gaze of Death, 4 Wraiths, 5 Scarabs, 10 Immortals, a Lord, Annihilation Barge, 3 Spyders with wound allocation weirdness, and I'm facing Blood Angels. Tactical squad in there. It's Dawn of War, hence I have 2 troops on here. He has 2 troops on there. Tac squad that's inside the vehicle. There's a plasma in there. Assault Marines with some nastiness. I think there's a Sanguinary Priest in there somewhere. There's a Librarian with some awesome powers. Yeah, that's the dude there. There is a Land Raider. That's actually a Redeemer, so that's proxied as a Redeemer. And those are proxied both as DACA Preds. So, you know, Assault Cannon and dual Heavy Bolters. And I am going second, and I guess I will not steal initiative. I'll let my opponent go first. So my opponent's turn is up. Okay, so rounding up top of turn 1 for Blood Angels. That thing rolled on, didn't pop smoke. Guys flew on behind him, taking cover. These guys just sat it out. They're just chilling like villains. Those guys are the ones that are inside there, and those 2 are outflanking those Battle Predators. They're going to try to assault me from the sides. Pretty impressive. So that is it. On to my turn 1. Okay, rounding up bottom of turn 1 for Necrons. Everything just sort of flew on. 12 inches there, taking cover behind that piece of machinery there in case of any Preds come on. These guys flew on over here, ran a bit. Didn't run very far, 1 inch. They flew on right there. Only ran 1 inch over here. Catan ran 6 inches. He's hungry for blood, or to die. One of the 2. These guys did not move, and you know, I forgot to actually try to shoot over there, but so be it. My fault. And that's it. On to turn 2. Okay, rounding up top of turn 2. This Predator showed up on this side of the board, fired, was out of range for the Assault Cannon, but managed to get the Heavy Bolters in there, put 1 wound on here. Some shooting from the guys inside there, put another wound on the Wraiths, and 1 Wraith died. I didn't do any weird wound allocation on there. I just forgot it that I had played without a couple guys without coils, but that was it. Some shooting into here from that guy, but couldn't penetrate, couldn't rend with his autocannon, couldn't hit with the regular Melta. That is an autocannon, and that is a regular Melta. Remember, it's proxied as a Redeemer. Yeah, Assault Cannon, pardon me. And that was it. So on to the Necron turn 2, back in a bit. So rounding up bottom of turn 2 for Necrons, what happened? This guy laser beamed into the rock, fired all of his guns in there, but I didn't roll very good for the penetration glances, so I just made it so he can't move or shoot. Lots and lots of times. These guys over here fired at that ball Predator, would have had no cover, but we missed both times. These guys moved up and ran a few inches. These guys just moved up and ran a tiny bit, raised position a tiny bit. These guys in here with the vehicle and the guys inside managed to make it so he can't shoot, and we immobilized him, so that was very helpful over there. These guys just moved up a little bit, ran a few inches. Catan moved up and ran, but didn't go forward, kind of stayed back. I just like this position he has. He's taunting the opponent to come get him on some terrain. He's saying, come get me. And that is it. So on to top of turn 3. Okay. Back in a bit. All right, just a mid-top of turn 3 wrap-up. There's an interesting combat starting. Some Assault Marines are going to come here and shred my Wraiths. They decide they've had enough of just hiding in a corner, like cowardly little Space Marine guys. They're actually going to be brave and come in here. They're going to Furious Charge me in here. They decided not to fire any Meltas because the Lord of Fire is nearby. But we're going to have a combat there in a bit. Round up the turn. Okay, rounding up top of turn 3. So what happened in that combat? Pretty much a gong show. 2 wounds on the Wraiths. One of the guys with whip coils died. One of the guys over here took damage. We caused 1 in return. So we lost by 1. From the Fearless, that guy took another wound because I put it on him, and he actually crumbled away. So the guy with no coil crumbled away. And that was it. So we held him up a little bit over here, but it's a losing combat for us. So we got to try to make something happen. And back in a bit with bottom of turn 3 for Necron. Sorry, also forgot to mention what happened on the other stuff of the turn. This thing tried to fire an Assault Cannon into here. Managed to glance me, but Living Metal stopped the can't shoot result. And this guy here helped fire, I think he tried to fire some Heavy Bolters at the Catan, but couldn't get any 6s, so the Catan is still untouched. So back in a bit with bottom of turn 3. Okay, so just rounding up middle of bottom of turn 3, Catan just entered the combat over there. Scarabs built 3 more of them, and they've gone against that guy, and that's what's going on there. Round up the rest of the turn in a bit. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, so rounding up that combat, Catan slaughtered 5 guys, hit with everything, wounded with everything. That doesn't happen too often. That was pretty lucky, but these guys though, man, they managed to put 2 wounds on the Catan. 1 strength 4 weapon again poked him in the eyeball, and then a power fist got through. I failed both my Immortals, but he gazed of death and nuked 3 more guys, so he gained back a wound. Wraiths didn't manage to put some wounds in, but didn't manage to kill anybody. These guys didn't put any wounds on the Wraiths, so we won by 3, but they stuck out in combat. Over here, naturally, not surprised. These guys just reduced this to armor 0, so they got a kill point there. And that was it. What else happened on this turn? These guys moved up and ran sideways. I'm trying to stay away because there's a ton of guys inside that thing, so I'm trying to stay 14 inches away from that. These guys moved up, also trying to stay 14 inches away. These guys over here fired into there, got a penetration with some luck, but cover save held. ton of shooting from over here. Couldn't do anything to it. No glances from that weaponry. This thing over here fired and got a bunch of hits on there, but again, cover save was made because he popped smoke the turn before. So pretty impressive defenses there. And we're on to turn 4. Back in a bit. Okay, so rounding up top of turn 4, what happened? Catan continued chopping through these guys. Again, some lucky guy got a 6 on me. Again, I failed. I haven't passed a single invulnerable save with this Catan. It's unbelievable. And when I gazed of death, there was literally nothing. It didn't reach anybody. So I couldn't even try to hit one of my own guys to regain a wound, which would have been awesome. But and then Wraiths put 3 wounds on this jerk, and he passed all of his saves. So he tied up all my Wraiths that were supposed to Wraiths and Catan that were supposed to wreck this thing. What happened on this thing's turn? Fired into here, and tried to put wounds in here, but they passed it. Those guys moved out of the vehicle and shifted to the side, just to try to stay away from my Spyders, but to try to get close to this stuff. The vehicle fired into here, managed to get a penetration, I think, right? Yeah, you got a penetration through, but only blew away my array on the side there. So they're a little bit lucky over there. We're going to have to get the heck out of dodge. Coming up to the bottom of turn 4. Oh, and the poor Bal Predator still hasn't shown up. Rolled a 1, even though it's turn 4. So he just doesn't want to show up. He's showing up next turn. Okay, so rounding up bottom of turn 4, what happened? These guys finally were useful. This game exploded that thing. These guys managed to move in, charge into there. They did. Catan finally cleaned up that last guy for a kill point and consolidated 6 inches. This guy consolidated 2 inches. I was debating gazing at death to kill my own guy to try to regain a wound, but I'm not going to give him a free kill point. I'm going to make him work for it. This thing zodded into here and killed a few guys, but only arced to my Wraiths and killed one of my Wraith bases. 2 wounds on the Wraith base, so my arcing effect started hurting me there. These guys chickened away. They moved, ran an inch. They stayed the hell away from those guys. This thing flew over here and just fired its surviving array over there. I turned my back to the side, but it's okay because I don't have any, I don't have shielding anymore, so be it. And on to top of turn 5. I just forgot to mention in this combat what happened. We caused 2 wounds, 1 in return from a Parafist, so they lost combat, but they stuck around. So, okay, little mid-turn, top of 5 wrap-up. These guys went there, came over here, charged in. One guy used a psychic power to give one of these models a single extra attack, rolled a d3 and got 1. My Gloom Prism can't stop that because it didn't target me. And round up the rest of the turn in a bit. Okay, so rounding up that combat, what happened over here? These guys managed to put some hits in. No wounds from the regular weapons that needed 6s, but then the Power Fists went. Before those went, I managed to kill 4 guys out of 1 unit. But then the Power Fist went. This guy, the extra attack, managed to put 4 wounds into me. So each guy is down to 1, down to 2, down to 1 wound because of the wound allocation shenanigans. Pretty painful turn there, but we managed to hold. Bottom of turn 5. Sorry, forgot to also round up what else happened. This thing finally came on here, fired some shots, wiped out that lone Wraith. So maybe I should have Gaze of Death to try to get a wound there. I think that was about it. So yeah, that was really just that guy came on and shot into there. So this thing tried to fire a Melta at this guy, but hit but couldn't roll for 3+ to wound him. So that was it. On to bottom of turn 5. Okay, so rounding up bottom of turn 5. Catan is dead again. A bunch of wieners put 6s into him. 4 6s rolled on 5 wounds. Amazing, and he failed his last 2 wounds, so he exploded. I remember that he exploded, though. He wiped out, he only rolled 1 inch for his explosion, but he wiped out 2 more Marines. These guys managed to kill that for a kill point, so we're up to 7 kill points there. And we managed to kill, I think, more. We killed 5, and we only lost by 4 wounds, because 2 wounds were into here. One of these crumbled away, another one, they're both down to 1. So they stuck around in combat, and we're going to see if the game ends. Someone want to roll it up on a 1 or 2? Game will end. Oh, game continues. Roll to 5. The pain continues. All right, so we're on to turn 6. Okay, rounding up bottom of turn 6. What happened? This guy just moved in there. They consolidated, chopped those guys down. Then we fired everything we could in there and got this guy down to 2 wounds, and that's it. So we're going to see if the game ends. On a 1, 2, or 3. End this damn game. Come on. End this game. End this game. Oh, it ends, man. Thanks. Good game. Yeah, it's solid. I think we took it 7 to 3 or 7 to 4 for the Necrons, but good game. Yeah, last man standing. The champion guy in awesome looking Space Hulk Librarian Terminator armor is the last guy on the board for the Blood Angels.